And that's what a coach can do, is show you those blind spots that you're missing.
But it's not going to teach you how to be a leader.
But in order to grow more, you have to say what needs to be said.
Welcome back to Lobby Talks. I will be your host today, Rachell. I'm the Director of Sales here at Marriott Tulsa Southern Hills. One of the biggest challenges in hospitality today is not just hiring great people, but keeping them and helping them grow. Development plays a huge role in that, and we are very fortunate. Our General Manager, Ravi Sharma, has invested a great deal in training and leadership here at our hotel. It is very unusual to have that development or that thought for development training our future leaders. And he really takes that seriously. And as a result, we have these wonderful ladies with us that help us grow. In today's episode, we're talking about how training and coaching work together to support our teams, build leaders, and create a culture where people want to stay. It's all about retention. I am joined by Nicki, who leads our in-house training efforts. She's our talent development, develops all the talent around here. And Tami, who partners with us as a coach to support our growth and leadership development. Nicki, let's start with the foundation. Training is often where someone's experience with a company really begins. How do you approach training in a way that goes beyond teaching tasks and focuses on building confidence?
Well, the first thing we do starting on day one is to really orient them to the culture that we have here and show them that this is something very different than any hospitality they've probably experienced already.
Yes.
If they have experience or if they don't, just really welcoming them, giving them warmth, giving them a safe space to ask questions, to not know everything already, and giving them the opportunity to really understand how we're different and giving them the chance to meet everybody. Oftentimes you go somewhere for a new job, you might meet your supervisor or your direct team, but we take a lot of time. Their first day, they spend 3 hours with me learning everything they can or that they can take in one gulp. We give them a great tour. We introduce them to everyone that's working that day and really start making them feel like part of the family.
Yeah, you do a great job at that. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. What do new team members need most in those first few months to feel supported and successful, do you think?
I think it's that safety of being able to ask questions and make mistakes and know that if they blunder, it's not the end of the road for them.
Right.
That we're all learning, we're all growing together, and that there is a support system that they can use to make those mistakes, to learn from those mistakes and grow and develop.
Yep, that's a good point. I always tell people in my department, we're not saving lives here. We're selling beds and cookies.
It's not brain surgery.
Good. It's all the good stuff. From your perspective, how does strong training influence whether someone stays long term?
So if someone has strong training, then I liken it to an analogy I learned a while back where you're in a field and you're told you can do whatever you want. And this field runs on forever. And it's too much. But if you're given standards and expectations, so those would be a fence around your part of the field, then you have the ability to run free within those parameters. And so those expectations and those standards, teaching them and training them on the outset gives them an opportunity to grow within the culture, know where they have that ability to, like the analogy, run free.
Right.
And that gives them the opportunity to be themselves, but know what's expected and know where they need to be and what they need to be doing specifically.
Right. Well, and one thing that has been so helpful with your position here within the hotel, and Ravi investing in that has been not only do you get your initial training, but you really get reinforcement throughout the year. We're bringing back, like we just did, a 6 to 8 part training with Tami, and we spent some time last week really going through it again, because how much you do your training, okay, it's put in the binder, it's for later, but unless you're practicing it, you're never going to really get the full benefit of what that training has given you.
Right.
And so having you kind of take in or get some time with all of us and reinforce that training, and how are we implementing it into our daily lives, how are we bringing it to our team, has been very helpful. We've really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the reinforcement and just the reminders, and not just from me, but from each other. Just looking at each other and going, "Oh, this is a situation where we could use this or that."
Yes.
It's really helpful.
That's good. All right, Tami, once that foundation is in place, coaching can help take people to the next level. As an outside coach, what patterns do you commonly see when teams are ready for deeper development?
One of the first things I see is that it's not about performance, because your team is working well already. It's just the fact that it's like people get too polite. People, like, friction starts to happen, but there's no vocabulary for it. And so all of a sudden, everyone walks around and doesn't want to rock the boat.
Right.
And doesn't want to say what needs to be said. But in order to grow more, you have to say what needs to be said. And so that's one of the patterns that I see. And then the friction where decisions all of a sudden, because we have a great team, but there's no ownership with the decisions. And they circle and they circle. And so having coaching at that moment, it's not about trying to become a better team. It's about or working to a level of like, oh, we're a good team. It's like, take that to the next level. Okay, it's time to get uncomfortable again. When you start getting too comfortable, that's when the friction starts happening and things start to go backwards, because you don't know how to take that next step.
Right. Always keeping that conversation fresh and timely, but also pulling on the strengths that you've taught us that we have, and then also the training and how to really showcase those strengths and to showcase each other's strengths.
Absolutely. And that's where, once you start to perform well, that's where you have that ability to say, okay, now we can go deeper.
Right.
We have that trust in each other, because if you can't say those things that need to be said, then do you really have trust? And can you grow? Because you've got to grow together.
We do.
And so to bring in the strengths, there's some vulnerability there. And like you mentioned, the making mistakes. And you guys, your hotel has made it part of the culture where it's not about the mistakes, it's about what you learn through it, and how do you grow. It's like, it's okay to make a mistake, let's try it. And so that's the evidence that it's time to go deeper.
Those that learn hardest learn best.
Unfortunately, yes.
Very true words.
It is.
How does coaching help individuals see their potential beyond their current role?
We all have blind spots. We all have these things that we don't want others to see about us.
Yes.
Or these reactions that we have that we're protecting something. And so that's where a coach can come in and, gently highlight some of these.
You were always very gentle with us. Thank you.
I tried. But you need to see that. I mean, as a coach, I have a coach because I have blind spots. I know that working with Ravi and helping him see his blind spots and change perspective, that a lot of times those are actually your strengths in disguise.
Right.
You're just afraid of, or protecting how you can use it. Well, then once you have that permission to say, okay, let's try something different, with the guidance of, like the reinforcement and validation of, no, you've got this. And that's what a coach can do, is show you those blind spots that you're missing, like whether it's individually or you also have team blind spots.
Right.
That you kind of fall in these patterns, that it's comfortable and it's routine and everyone knows what to expect. But how can you get something different if you don't change something?
That's very true. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable in order to grow. In order to really even see any marketable results, you have to be uncomfortable and be willing to take chances and risks. And we really learned a lot of that with you, where our strengths lie, but more importantly, where our team members' strengths lie, and be okay with being like, you know what, this isn't really my lane. Let's let team member B handle this, but then let's all watch and let's learn and let's all grow. And that's what really makes us super comfortable with each other. And you really brought that to us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys were a great team to work with, because you're willing to to say that and to look at it and get that hard truth and say, okay, what do you want to do about it? And then you guys took that next step to say, okay, we want to change it.
Absolutely.
And then you did it.
One of the great things about having an outside coach like Tami come in too was that you talking about blind spots. Within, even if you have a trainer or a coach inside the organization, you're not going to see the blind spots as easily as having an outside coach who comes in and doesn't know necessarily all the nuances of the team. And so we were able to see things from an outside perspective that really helped us grow as a team as well.
It absolutely did.
And that's where it is the strength of having someone outside. You want to have a trainer, you want to have that consistency in your organization, but having an outside person come in, because you can get to the heart of it quick. Because I was able to see, okay, the same patterns are happening. Let's bring those to light. And I didn't need to know all the nuances. We didn't need to talk about everything and spend, years in therapy talking about it. It's like, okay, here we are. Where do you want? I know, right? But we go quickly to where we want to go.
Yes.
And so that's the other side of having someone outside come in, because all of those little details that there are important, but really only to a select few. And in order to make that change, you don't need to know all those nuances. You just need to understand the strengths, the motivations, and where you want to go. And a coach is able to help you point that out and move quickly.
Yes.
So it doesn't take years. I mean, we were together for 3 months and things shifted.
They really did.
They did.
Yeah, we've all felt a big change. And Ravi noted from the first time that he even had his first meeting with you, he's like, this is going to be really great for us. And just, after his first few sessions with you, we started seeing a difference in how he communicates with us. It was nothing good, bad. It was just more, it was just more clarity, more the why behind the why, more like I can do better for my team. This is what I'm going to strive to do. And just that willingness to kind of be vulnerable and be open to saying, okay, this isn't what I'm great at, but I'm working on it. Right. With help. We appreciate that.
Sure.
What role does coaching play in helping emerging leaders navigate challenges and change?
Well, one thing we know is there's challenges and change and everything.
It's never going to end.
No.
It'll always be there.
It is. Anytime you deal with people, like there's going to be challenges and there's going to be change. And so what a coach can do is help you to see, pull back all of the drama behind it and get to the heart of, okay, where are you? What do you need? And where do you want to go?
Right.
And so by pulling that back, again, it's the quickly moving to the direction you want to go instead of falling back into the routine or the reactions that are natural. And you can bring things to light. You bring your blind spots to light and say, okay, this is not the direction I want to go. What options do I have? And a coach can say, okay, what options do you have? What do you know about yourself? What outcome do you want? And then you push forward that direction. And so if you are an emerging leader, you need to be aware of what your motivation is, because that's going to be the driver for all of your decisions.
Right.
That's going to be centered of what you're internally and subconsciously protecting within yourself. So if you understand it, then you can move through and be like, okay, I don't need to be protected in this way. I need to grow. I need to say what I'm feeling in order to be heard or get the idea across. And so a coach can just give you those nudges and pull back some of the details and say, okay, well, you are people oriented. What part of people does this get you? And if you're the heart of it or the data, if you're driven by data, it's like, okay, what is the data telling you?
Yeah.
And you're able to see that quickly, again, without having all the nuances and then you're able to say, okay, what do you want? Because as a leader, we have to own our own leadership style. And we read the books, we take the trainings, and we do the things that everyone else says, but it's the what's in it for me? How do I use this? And a coach can ask that question in a safe space that you can wrestle with that idea and really make leadership your own, which in turn helps you stand out.
It absolutely does. That's a very good point. Thank you. Yeah. Training builds skills, coaching builds perspective, and both are needed to retain strong teams. How do training and coaching work together to create consistency and growth across teams? Nicki, you first.
Oh, wow. So I think kind of what we've been touching on is that the training teaches you that job, but it's not going to teach you how to be a leader. It's not going to show you how to manage a team, right? Management and leadership being very different, but the training is more task oriented. And if it's a conceptual idea, it's just giving you information. Yeah. And the coaching is where you take all of your training and you implement it. And that's sort of how I look at them working together. What about you, Tami?
Yeah, that's what I see as well. It's the training is the tasks. Those are important, but it's also, like you mentioned, perspective. What do you bring to the organization? What do you bring to the role and the mission? Because we're so unique, and we don't need copy and paste. We need everyone to own their strengths and bring them forward. And so coaching allows for that, for you to say, okay, what other options are available based on what you've been through in life, or what do you see? And so I think they go partner hand in hand, because you need to be able to get a coherent idea, and how can you bring it forward? You need to bring your own perspective, and so you need to understand yourself. You need to see what is your idea? Why do you think that this is not the right direction, and how can you verbalize that? And the skills give you the vocabulary, and the coaching gives you that confidence and the perspective of saying, no, I may not be right here, but here's something to think about. And so to be a leader today, we need both the coaching and the training. We need to be the best version of ourselves, and critical thinking, and these ideas, because there's so much information out there. And again, if you're just regurgitating other people's, you're going to never feel settled, or that your opinion, your ideas are heard. And so the coaching and training together will allow that to happen.
Yeah, it really does. Thinking about even when we're in school, high school, and you're learning all the technical skills, and you're determining what you might want to do in your job one day. You go into college or technical school, or you just learn on the job, right? It's very much that go, task oriented, as you said. No one ever really stops and says, well, what are you good at? Well, I see this strength in you, and let's build upon that. Leadership training is something that really develops you into what you're going to do as a career. But what I found really remarkable from your training is I found myself practicing it at home. And so it's not just being a good leader, it's also really determining how you can be a good person, and how you can bring this into your own personal life and grow and help those around you, and be more available for them. If you're available for the people at home, you're also so much more available for the people at work. Yeah. And so I found that just very, very helpful. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Ravi Sharma.
That's right.
So helpful.
No, you're absolutely right with that, because we're human beings, not human doings. And so it's important that we
love that.
We have to do the things, but it's important who we're being in the moment, because that's where retention is going to happen too. When you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel valued. But if you feel seen, heard, and valued for your strengths and what you bring to the team, then you're never going to have to worry about your job, because the team can grow together, because there's no worry about, okay, if we say the wrong thing, we're going to get axed. It's no, it's hey, say it so we can grow through it.
Absolutely. How do training and coaching work together to create consistency and growth across teams? Nicki?
So I think you have to have both, especially within teams. So in a hotel, we have lots of different types of teams that work together, and then all of those teams work together as one larger team. So looking at the smaller department teams, this is where oftentimes it's just about the training, the task training. Let's teach you how to do the job at hand, and then we're good. We're done, because you know how to do your job. But that next step of coaching those people, coaching them into what Tami was saying, into what they're being, and understanding where their strengths lie and how to apply that to what they do on the day-to-day, how it fits into the team, how that team can then work within the realm of the entire hotel. All of that coaching goes to not only amplifying the tasks that we've trained them to do, but those are our future leaders as well. And if we're not taking care of coaching them, what we've seen in the last several years is they pick another industry because it's not a lie. It's a hard industry. It's a really fun industry, but it can be hard sometimes. And if we're not coaching them to be the best version of themselves and really understand where they are and where they want to go and how we can help them get there, then we're doing them a disservice as well as ourselves.
Absolutely. Tami, what are your thoughts?
Well, to add to that is, as leaders, you have more information and you have a grander vision than a lot of the people under you. And so by coaching and by mentorship and by being with them and giving them an insight to what's possible.
Yeah.
And then they can catch that vision as well. And then they become part of it instead of just a task doer in it.
Exactly.
And so that's where I say it goes hand in hand, because if you want to build a culture of growth and leadership, it's you can't separate the mentorship and the coaching. And I was reading in that leaders today are more in the coaching role than they are in the management role.
I see.
You know, you have the managers, you have to, give tasks and you have to set goals, but it's more of the giving people the tools to do it instead of telling them how to do it.
Right.
And so by giving them the tools, you're helping them see the way and give them the vision, and then letting them go and see what happens.
Yes.
And then also when that happens, that person can try things out and can really see how they can bring more value and be part of the organization as a whole. And so they want to stay and they want to grow. And that's what I see with your team, is that it's that everyone, once you get a little taste, then it's like, okay, great, we got this. What's next?
What's next?
And that's where people stay, because you don't want to miss out. You got FOMO. Like,
I love that.
Yeah.
How does development help shift the mindset from this is a job to this is a career? I have something to mention here. I actually interviewed somebody last week, and he's still in high school, so it was for an internship. And he was just precious as could be, but he just didn't know a lot. He just thought that hospitality sounded fun. So we sat down and we really talked about, what about hospitality is appealing to him. And it was just a very, very small amount. So when I started explaining to him that within a hotel's walls, all the different types of careers you can have, and I gave him a few examples of how I've seen people grow from housekeeping to sales, from front desk to sales, from front desk to operations, all the different kind of cross contamination,
the web,
in a really good way. And in that conversation, I saw him get brighter and brighter and more animated and more excited. And I even told him, I said, man, I wish that I knew about this industry when I was your age, because I would have thought I'd be so much further along, but I would have had a lot more fun in the meantime, having somebody tell me where it could take me. You know what I mean? So what do you guys think?
well, I think you don't know what you don't know. And so the moment that, a job is just tasks. You go in, you clock in, you clock out, you do a good job.
Yes.
And then you feel good. You're like, okay, at the end of the day, how you can grow in it and what you can do for it. And it becomes less of like just a paycheck and more of I can make an impact here.
Yes.
And that can happen at every level. Like you mentioned, this high school student, and to see them get a fire and see what they're capable of, because they're not afraid of trying and failing. That's one thing this younger generation I'm watching. It's so cool, because as a Gen Xer, like, you don't make mistakes, and we grew up trying to make it all right and making sure that we don't make a misstep, because we can get fired or things happen. And in the culture today, that's where it really becomes, because it goes from a job to a career and a calling, when you can make that impact and you can see how you can be fully yourself in it.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts, Nicki?
I think that you talk to people that are in the industry right now, and especially those that have been in there for a while, and most of them are going to say they got into it by accident.
Yes.
Right? They were in high school or in college, and they just needed, like Tami said, somewhere to clock in and clock out and get a paycheck. And then they learned. They had that mentor. They had that person that gave them the vision. They saw what careers were available. Well, rather than that, let's take those people right at the beginning, show them that vision, show them that potential, those careers that they could
Spark
get, and spark that fire, rather than them having to find it under a rock somewhere.
Like
most of us did.
Right, right.
I think you guys make a good point. The difference is having someone introduce it to you, having someone to walk by, even if you don't mentor them completely, or you just opening the eyes to what's possible. That's all of a sudden where it stops being a job and becomes a career. It's because someone took interest.
It is so gratifying being in my position when I see, yes, we're all about, revenue and growth and our relationships with our clients, and we love all of that. But lately, really in this last year, and probably a lot through the leadership classes and the talent development we've undergone, I'm seeing more about really bringing up the future of hospitality and really just giving back. And really a lot of that comes through conversation and comes through sharing your experiences, the wonderful experiences you've had, and how it's led to you growing, working under conditions that were sometimes very unfavorable, but boy, did you learn. You learned a lot. And telling people where they could go with it, and then seeing them take that and grow and get to the next level. It's like, I love seeing this in you. This is so much fun. I love seeing it, because also I'm seeing new talent come out. I'm seeing you know or discover about yourself all the wonderful things that you can do and that you are capable, because I was there and I didn't know anything and I became capable over time. You can do it too. And just that really kind of cheerleader mentality, that's what all of this training and development I think has turned us into here, is we're really each other's cheerleaders and we want to see the best for each other.
I see that a lot.
It's been a lot of fun.
In the tours that I give new hires.
Yes.
And they'll come in and they're going to work the front desk, or they're going to be a barista, or whatever their job is. And as we tour them and they walk around the hotel and they meet the different people in the different departments, and some of them, if I'm going to be a bartender, maybe they've never bartended in a hotel before. So they have no idea all the different departments and the different things that we do here. Right. And you can just see their eyes light up, and they're looking around and they're just amazed at how much potential there is. And just to see that spark in them. And I would say at least a third of the people that come in here go, oh, wait, so how would I track myself to do that career, even though I'm starting here? And so starting really early and giving them that potential and that vision
showing them that the possibility
critical.
Is there.
Exactly.
There's growth potential, the possibilities there. And then it's like, wait a second, this isn't just a barista. This could really be something so much more within the industry. All right, let's end with a quick segment called The Turning Point. Can you each share a moment when you saw someone shift from just doing the job to truly stepping into their potential? Tami, you go first.
Okay. Well, and the first thing that comes to my mind is I was in the Air Force. I was a flight commander, and I had a really young airman under me. And he was, I would say, probably 6 months to a year out of, into the training, into his role.
Yes.
And only a little over a year into the military. And you could tell he hadn't really caught the vision yet. He didn't see, he was, and as a young airman, you're not treated the best. There's a little bit, you got a lot to learn, right?
Yeah.
As a young anytime you step into a place, you got a lot to learn.
As a young anyone.
We've all been there.
That's right.
But then talking to him and getting to see, and we had our one-on-one, and knowing that it was all about him in the moment. And so he was seen and he was heard. And I was and we talked about what he liked with the job. And then, so at that moment, I could see the shift, because he wasn't just another number. It was he is airman so-and-so. And I was able to now talk to him when I would walk by and say how things are going. But it instantly turned from just doing the job to becoming part of the mission, to becoming someone who really cared. And just by having that moment of, yeah, you're just brand new, but I still have time for you. I still see something in you, and I'm going to watch for it.
Right.
And that moment, he was sparked to give more and to be more. And he actually went on to become an officer later. And
wow.
It was just fun to watch him grow. And that moment, it all changed because
was the
someone saw
turning point.
him.
Fantastic. Nicki, do you have an example for us?
There are many. There are many. But one of the most recent ones is actually someone that works here. And he's in an hourly position, does a very good job. And his manager sat down with him and said, what do you want out of this? Is this the end goal? Or and he said, well, I really hadn't thought about that. And nobody's really asked me that before. And they had some conversations, and almost like turning on a switch, he immediately started doing on his own training, and he was just so motivated to learn and to grow. And he is soaring right now. He's learning different things that don't necessarily apply to his position, but will help him in the future. And he's done a 180. And not that he was doing poorly before, but he just realized kind of what you were saying, Tami, somebody's seeing me, and there's potential here, and there's an opportunity for me to do something more than what I'm doing right now, and let's grab it by the fist and go. And he did, and it's really been a fun experience to watch him.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. I have an example of somebody I worked with or work with. She does a phenomenal job at whatever she's given to do. She's going to take the bull by the horns, and she's very tenacious, and she's very much that person that is a cheerleader for everyone. And we had made a couple of hires for a position that it wasn't right for them. So they did not last very long. They went to seek excellence elsewhere on their own. And I saw this person. I was like, man, have you thought about this type of position? Well, no, I hadn't. I'm just doing good at what I'm doing now. I'm like, yeah, you're doing great at what you're doing now. It doesn't feed you. It doesn't feed your soul in a way that I think this other job might. And she's like, yeah, let's give it a try. And boy, has she soared. I mean, boy, my goodness. I wonder who we're talking about
I
here.
think I might know.
Yeah, the person might actually be in the room.
All right.
But she's done such an amazing job. But it's wonderful. I've got so many examples like that where it just takes somebody else noticing that in you sometimes. And you're like, wait a second, hadn't even thought of that. What can I do to pursue that path?
And that's the
Let's
joy of
try it
coaching.
out. Yeah.
Well, and that's the joy of leadership as well. I was going to say, this is because there's a lot of things in leadership that is really hard.
I know.
There are some decisions that we have to make and some hard calls. However, when push comes to shove, knowing that your job as the leader is to see that emerging capabilities and seeing the possibility in others, that is the most rewarding thing ever.
Absolutely.
That makes all of the hardship worth it.
It does.
And it just and you see that and you're just like, yes. For that, it's just it's amazing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. So today's conversation really shows that retention is not just about benefits or schedules. It's about people feeling supported, challenged, and valued. We at Marriott Tulsa Southern Hills and Ruffin Event Center have seen firsthand how training and coaching give our team members the confidence, guidance, and tools to grow and succeed and see a clear path forward in their careers. When it's done right, development builds clarity, creates leaders, and it inspires our team to step up and take ownership of their growth. Thanks so much, Nicki and Tami, for sharing their insight today, and thanks to you for listening to Lobby Talks. Follow us on social for more behind-the-scenes conversations, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Remember, reducing turnover starts with investing in your team's growth and culture. Next time, we'll explore the different cultures within one event team and how this global perspective creates unforgettable moments for guests. Subscribe to Lobby Talks on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen so you don't miss a beat.